everyone, and welcome to your first LSesh. I'm super excited. Today's sequence is entirely designed for beginners. Many of you have expressed interest in getting into yoga but don't know where to begin. But you're in luck. I love a good home practice, and I'm here to share that with you to help ease you into these postures, get you a little bit more comfortable, and so you're that much more confident going into next time. The best part of a home practice is that you can practice wherever and however you want. You can have a mat, you don't have to have a mat, you can wear yoga clothes, fitness clothes, or you can wear sweatpants. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're taking initiative to try something new that is full of benefits for you. So let's start in a cross-legged position. Cross your legs, left over right, right over left, whatever is comfortable for you. Put your hands on your knees. Here you really want to focus on your posture. You don't want to be hunched back. You want to push your sternum up. Your head over your heart, heart over your head, however you feel comfortable. And really start to focus on your breathing. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Let's get those shoulders a little bit more comfortable. Pull them up and then ground them down your back. Pull your shoulders up towards your ears and then down your back. Do a couple of them to get a little warmed up. Maybe one more. Okay. Let's do a couple of neck stretches. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. And left ear to your left shoulder. Do a couple more. Now go back to center, but take your chin to your chest. And then ease it back. Chin to your chest. Ease it back. Back to center. Now let's do a couple of neck rolls. You can think of it as drawing a circle with your nose. And go back the other way. One more. Back to center. Now you can either put your fingers together like so, or what I like to do is just cross your thumbs like this, just so they're touching. Take your hands over your head and stretch to the right. Feel a nice stretch on the side. And back to center. Do your opposite. Feel a nice stretch down your side. Back to center. Do one more. Try to go a little bit deeper. Back to center. And one more. Back to center. Okay. Feel free to do more stretches if you like, whatever your body is telling you. You can always stop and pause this video and restart at any time. So hopefully you're working through those kinks, starting to feel a little bit better. Okay. Now we're going to go into child's pose, which is one of the most fundamental asanas for yoga. And how you get into this pose is spread your legs as wide as your mat and bring your big toes together in the back. And then take your hands and start to lean forward Go only as far as you can go to where you feel a good, healthy stretch. Don't push it or force it, because that's when real injuries can occur. So just listen to your body and ease into it. And really start to focus on your breath. You want to inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more inhale, exhale. And lift up. Come back to sit on the back of your heels. And next we're going to warm up those wrists, which is most important, in my opinion, for your practice. There are a lot of postures that put a lot of pressure on your wrists. So if you're not used to that, you certainly want to stretch out your wrists. So first, take your hands, flip them to where the palms are going onto the mat or your floor. And you'll feel a nice deep stretch through your wrists as well as your forearm. And if your wrists are up here, that's fine. You stop wherever you feel a good stretch. Over time, it does get a little bit easier. So if you're in a lot of pain right now, I feel you, I've been there. And then flip it, flip your hand so the top of your hand is on the mat. This one could be a little bit tougher. Okay. And then the next one, kind of stand up into tabletop, or lift up into tabletop, not stand up. And then have your palms facing your mat. Lean to your right, lean to your left, lean right, lean left. And then flip your hands. The back of your hand is on the mat. You bring them in a little bit. And again, go easy on this stretch. This one can be very tough. Okay. You come back, sit on your heels, roll them out a little bit. I'm sure they're a little bit sore for you. But the next thing we're going to do is another good wrist stretch. It helps actually build wrist strength and also your forearm strength. So we're only going to do this for maybe 20-30 seconds. But you can build into it to where you're doing it for a minute or 2 minutes down the road. But what you're going to do is put your hands out in front of you. Make sure your fingers are starfish. And we're going to close and open. Close and open. And just get a good rhythm going. And you will start to feel it, especially in your forearms. If you can, pick up the pace. If not, just go with your flow, go with your own flow. Okay. Shake it out. Shake it all out. All right. Okay. Next, we're going to go to tabletop. Tabletop is one of those basic poses. You want to have starfish fingers. You kind of push through your hands. You want a flat back. You don't want the banana back or the arch back or warped table. So make sure you're flat and pushing through those hands. And from here, we're going to do a few cat-cows. So for cat, you want to push through your hands, push through your shoulders, engage your core. And then release it. Take how you can arch your back. Make sure your gaze is up. And then push back to cat. Again, exhale, release, let it go. Don't be afraid to pop your glutes or pop your butt out. That's what you're supposed to do. Pop tail feathers. And then push up. One more exhale. Pop your bottom. Okay. From here, we're going to untuck those toes and push up into down dog. Down dog is one of the most recognized poses in yoga. It's a great strength builder. Stretches the entire body. What you want to do is have your hands in like a starfish position and push through those shoulders. If you can't straighten your legs, don't worry about it. Feel free to have a nice bend in them. From here, you can start to pedal. Feel a nice arch in your feet. Stretch your ankles. Down dog is great to elongate your spine. It's also one of the great transition poses or rest positions. Make sure your feet are hip width. From here, you want to lift your right foot, bring it up to a three-legged down dog. Make sure you're not opening your hip, that your hips are centered forward. And feel a nice stretch to your hamstring and your calf. Make sure you're pushing through those shoulders. From here, pull your right leg into your chest. And you want to place your foot in between your two hands into high lunge. And slowly lower your back leg. You can untuck those toes. And bring your hands to your knee. And allow your body to sink into the pose as much as you can. Ignore those fight or flight responses. Push those thoughts somewhere else. And allow your body to let go. From here, bring your hands to your mat. We're going to do a nice hip stretch. So take your right hand to your right knee and push that right knee away from your body as you turn your body and shift your gaze up. You should feel a nice stretch in your outer hip. It's one of my favorite poses. Bring it back. Both hands on the floor, untuck your back toes, push up to a nice intense side stretch. Again, only go as far as you can. If you can't straighten those legs just yet, that's okay. But make sure you don't want to tucking your body to where your knee is touching or your head is touching your knee. You want your chest parallel to your leg and slowly lower into it wherever you can. Take a couple more breaths. And then bring it back to high lunge. And we're going to be pushing through those feet. Bring yourself up to crescent pose. Crescent pose is again one of the most recognized poses in yoga. Great benefits for your balance and strength, leg strength. So in crescent pose, make sure your knee is over top your foot. Again, you don't want it to be in front of your foot or your toes at all. Make sure it's back. You're going to tuck your hips. And again, try to straighten your back leg. If you're not there yet, don't even worry about it. You can either have your hands on your hips, pull your hands up, gaze up. From here, we're going to open it up into Warrior Two. Warrior Two, again, make sure your knee is in line with your foot, and your back foot is now turned 90 degrees. Try to relax and sink into the pose. And focus on your breath. From here, straighten your front leg, put your hand either on your thigh or your knee, whatever is best for you, and reach over into reverse warrior. Bend that right leg again. We're going to do like a windmill. Back down to high lunge. Pull your right foot back. So we're in plank. In plank, you could have your feet hip width. You want your shoulders over your hands. Again, that starfish position. Plank is a great posture to activate that core. Activate your shoulders. And from here, we're going to go into chaturanga, which is like a yoga push-up. If you're not ready for this, feel free to come to your knees. But what you want to do is shift forward, bend into chaturanga, pull your elbows into your chest, and come up to up dog. Up dog, you want your toes tucked, you want your thighs off the ground, and shift your gaze up. If this is a little too tough for you, feel free to bring your knees to the ground into a nice cobra. From here, you want to activate that core, push through your shoulders, push through your hands, come back to down dog. It's a nice place to rest. Get control of your breath. And get ready for the next side. Okay. So from here, pull up that left leg. Make sure your hips are centered. You want to pull the left leg into your chest and place it in between your hands. So we're in a high lunge. You can lower that back leg to the ground, untuck the toes. Bring your hands up to your knee. And allow your hips to sink into the stretch. Work through all that tightness that we've built up over the years. We want to become less of a tin man, a little bit more like Gumby. Again, you could bring your hands up if you're comfortable. Focus on your balance, focus on your breath, focus on your alignment. And bring your hands to the mat. And again, we're going to open our hip stretch. So take your left hand to your left knee and roll your foot to its outside And slightly push, shifting your body and your gaze up. Feels great. It's a nice outer hip stretch. Bring it back center. Both hands on the ground. Untuck your back toes and push up into a nice side stretch. Again, feel free to bend that back leg. Push through the shoulders. Feel a nice stretch up your leg. Take a couple of breaths. And for your back toes, bring your back toes up, bend into your left knee. Now we're gonna stand into crescent. Again, focus on your alignment. Make sure your hips are tucked under and centered, and that your knee is in line with your foot, and your gaze is up. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. Really focus on that balance. What I like to do is squeeze your inner thighs together. It helps your balance. From here, you want to twist your back foot and open up into warrior two. Make sure your foot again is over your knee. Your hips are tucked under. Your core is engaged. Your gaze shift is up. From here, you want to straighten the front leg. Bring your back hand to either your thigh or your knee. Open to reverse warrior. Again, bend that left leg, windmill it down to high lunge. Pull your left leg back to plank. Our second chaturanga of the day. Untuck the toes if you can. And push up. Make sure you're engaging those quads. Pushing through the hands and gazing at the ceiling. Gauge that core, push through the hands, push through the shoulders, back to down dog. Here, we'll slowly tiptoe it to a forward fold. It's okay if your knees are bent. That's okay. Let your body hang. Relax your jaw. If you want, swing it back and forth. Stretch those psoas muscles. Stretch those quads. Okay. From here, your feet are together. You can open. You're going to start to bend your legs, but open your hips. It's a nice ankle stretch, hip stretch, glute stretch. Feels good. Slowly lower to your bottom. Make sure your legs, again, hip width to the sides of your mat. And what we're going to do is you want to breathe into the pose, open your chest. Make sure you're looking at the ceiling. And then hollow body. Feel the stretch through your spine. And bring it in. Nice. Start to your back bends. Open the chest. And then hollow it out. Feel the stretch vertebrae by vertebrae. I'm going to do one more. Hollow it out. Bring it forward. Bring your legs out. Take your hands up. We're going to do a nice forward fold. So go only as low as you can. If it's here, that's fine. If it's here, sweet. And if it's even lower, that's awesome. But only go to where you feel the stretch. Sit up. We're going to lower to our back. Lower to your back, so your body's in a T shape. Your hands straight out. Bring that right foot in. We're going to twist our body to the left. And try to get your knee to where it's touching the floor, but don't force it. And shift your gaze to the opposite wall. Make sure you're keeping your right shoulder on the ground. That will intensify the stretch. The stretch is also really great for your spine alignment. Really brings it all back into place. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. So you bring your left leg up, twist your body to the right, shift your gaze to the left. Let your body ease into it. Okay, bring it centered. We're going to bring our legs, stretch them out into like a starfish. What we like to call in yoga, savasana. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And bring some feeling back to your toes and your fingers. Start to wiggle them a little bit. And when you're ready, bring it back. Seated position. A couple of deep breaths. Bring it to prayer position. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope to see you back soon. Namaste. Come back for more.